Dungeons and Dragons figures out of their package and on display and in some poses and sights of his bow and arrow, but he can't hold it with his other arm, so that's a massive fail right there. Today we'll be taking a look at Hasbro's new Dungeons and Dragons 6-inch action figure line, which this is the complete Wave 1 review, so let's get into it. Hey, what's going on? It's Sean Solo 8, and oh boy, is my desk full today. And we'll start off with this awesome Venger pack. As you can see here, it's Venger and Dungeon Master. And then we also got, we'll start with Diana. Check out her packaging. As you can see, yeah, she looks absolutely phenomenal in package. I love that roller coaster ride on the back. And of course, she comes with a die, which, yeah, she looks fantastic. Put her to the side, and we'll go ahead and check out Bobby and Uni. As you can see, again, amazing package. Says 40th on there, and we have waited 40 years for these figures, haven't we? There is Bobby and Uni. Absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, we've got Hank, which I am absolutely looking forward to Hank. I used to play with him as a kid. Like, I've heard other people say, yeah, you would pick up a piece of wood and pretend like you were Hank. And, you know, every Saturday, these guys would come on TV, which is just phenomenal. Now, there is something to show off on the side of these packages because they do look absolutely beautiful. I don't know if they line up kind of like how Star Wars Black Series do, because if they did, this would probably go right here. Oh, they do. Look at that. Oh my gosh. How cool is that? So yes, the boxes do line up to give you an amazing diorama if you wanted this, you know, on the side of your display. And of course, let's take a look at Venger and Dungeon Master. That's the side of their art. But yeah, that is super cool. On the back of the package, let's take a look at all three. I'm just going to go ahead and slide all of these like so, and we'll pan around those. But there's a look at Hank. It shows Bobby and Diana available. And of course, you have Diana, which shows Bobby and Hank. And then, of course, you have Bobby and Uni, which shows Hank and Diana. Now, I do hope that we get the other two, is it, that we're missing? Let's take a look at the back of Venger. Stick these right here. Hopefully that's not blocking too much light. But you can see Venger. I love that backdrop. I probably will use that during this video. He comes with some flame effects in it. Without further ado, let's open up these boxes and let's take a closer look. Boom! I have the Dungeons and Dragons figures out of their package and on display and in some poses. And right off the bat, I did have to heat up Hank, Bobby, and Diana. So, you know, quality control is definitely an issue with these. You can see many people's breaking. Like Hank's, I had to heat up his legs. Bobby, I had to heat up his arms. And Diana, I had to heat up her arms. But other than that, everything's pretty cool. So I do have them all lined up with their die. And we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at these figures. I think they are excellent. I do see the value here. The backdrop, let me just lift up and show you guys, is amazing, man. You know, you can't deny that is fantastic. And it is a thick cardboard too. So I'm really shocked at how good that is. But look at these figures, man. They do look good, you have to admit. Good old Uni down there on the bottom. And these die are super cool too. But Diana, I love how she looks. I think that is just fantastic. And of course, Bobby does hold his bat with both hands. That was not an easy task. He's probably the worst out of the bunch. I'll show you why in a few minutes here. Hank is super cool, but he cannot hold his lightning bow. I'll show you that too. And of course, Venger is definitely cool too, man. But yeah, the eyes looking to the side is a little bit of a problem. So let's check these guys out in a few poses and let's get this review started. And here's a look at Dungeon Master and Venger from Dungeons and Dragons. You can see the die that they come with. Here's the back of Venger. You do have to put these wings in. They just clip right in. Venger is pretty much just a big statue. It reminds me of, you know, Ray from the Black Series, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, anybody that has like a hard plastic bottom. He does have amazing pinless articulation underneath, but unless you cut it here, and of course, you know, we would love to see him on a horse. Wouldn't that have been a cool HasLab? But tie him at would probably be even cooler. Let's put these guys in just a few more poses. Oh, and yeah, these are all the accessories that they come with too, but let's try a couple more poses here. Now here they are in about the only other pose you're going to be able to get these guys in. Dungeon Master does have a pretty cool little pointy finger, and he can hold his hand up like that, so you can probably put some items in his hands. Venger, though, he looks really cool with those blasters, and with him looking to the side, you can see you can use them just like that. But let's pull these guys off of here and take a quick look. We'll go ahead and look at Dungeon Master. And as you can see, yeah, the paint on this guy is just fantastic. Those eyes look great. And the mold came out fantastic. The little bracers, you can see the hinge in the wrist there. That's the only articulation you're going to get out of this guy. And then the arms do swivel. And of course, they pop up pretty high. And he's got a pretty cool little pointy finger on this hand. But overall, he looks cool. There's no movement in the feet, which is a bummer. I don't even know why you would need peg holes on this guy. But he's straight out of the cartoon, and I think he is a keeper. Definitely fantastic. And it looks like, you know, this robe here is actually a piece that's put on over the top. And the head, yeah, there's really no movement out of this head at all. It just literally just goes side to side. A little bit of tilt, but you're not getting much action out of this guy. We'll go ahead and set Dungeon Master just right there, and let's take a closer look at this guy. This guy looks super, super menacing and super, super cool. As you can see, yeah, that head mold is just beautiful, but he just looks to the side, which is a bummer. There is some tilt in there, just side to side there. As you can see, the one horn is definitely awesome. Let's bring this guy up a little bit closer, and you can see the paint work on this guy is fantastic. Hank does have some issues, and these right here, there's a slit in the arm, and you can see underneath where he's got some pretty good articulation in there, and everything is pinless on him. His arms only pop up about that high, and they go up only to about there, and you can see the wedge where it's popping in there. He is on a nice ball, so he does tilt side to side. He does have a little bit of swivel, but he gets stuck at a certain point and just wants to swing back. Again, the head movement, you know, it does work out all right. And the wings, mine just popped in. Mine are actually hard to get out now, so I'm not going to bother pulling them out. But yeah, they're not assembled in package. But the wings look really, really good. I already got markings on mine. They are pretty hard plastic, but the detail looks great. These blaster effects look really cool. Mine are a little bit warped, but I'm sure over time they'll probably look better. Yeah, they just look cool, man. Really. Unfortunately, you know, because of those eyes, you have to tilt his head like sideways, like that. This is hard plastic on the bottom, and you can see, yeah, pinless legs. Definitely weird, and they give a nice boot mold on there too. But you're not going to be able to get much out of him in a pose, you know, because as I was saying, he's nothing but like a big traffic cone. We're going to go ahead and put Venger just right here, and let's bust out our heroes. And here's our heroes out of the packaging. Diana with one of her staffs that she comes with. Uni, we've got Hank with one of the bows that he comes with. And we've got Bobby with all of his accessories. One thing I did forget to point out, yeah, Venger's other hands that he comes with. Let me just pop these on screen for you really quick. Yeah, he comes with an open hand and a fisted hand with some hinges on there. But, you know, they do look very cool. As for Hank, he does come with his other bow. I will equip that on there, and it's really nice. You can see it looks super, super cool, and definitely has some nice 3 dimensions on there. But you'll see when I put them on. Also, Diana does come with like this swinging action staff, which looks cool. And of course, they each come with a die also, which shows on their packages which is which. But without further ado, let's put these guys in a couple more poses and see what else they can do. And here's the heroes with their other weapons. And you can see Diana with her swirling staff. Hank, he's just going to have trouble. You know, you can't have him actually shooting that bow and arrow, which is a bummer. But let me see if I can zoom on better. And here's a look at our heroes with their additional accessories. You can see Hank he can look down the sights of his bow and arrow, but he can't hold it with his other arm. So that's a massive fail right there. But he looks cool. Diana looks awesome with her additional staff. It would have been cool if they had some lighter effects on it. Bobby is actually really hard. His hand could be a little bit tougher because he does keep wanting to drop his bat, but he looks cool too. Let's take a close-up look. Oh, it must have been meant to be of these figures, and show you what I'm talking about. Go ahead and start with Bobby. Bobby, man, that face just looks incredible. There's no doubt about it. Let me zoom up on him. You can see the freckles there look dynamite. The eyes look great. The helmet looks great. You can see, yeah, the paintwork isn't the best on these. He does have this like rubber vest that pops up and over, and you can see all the studs. Just looks super, super cool. The bracers look awesome. There's swivel in the elbows. Bobby's elbows, they're just so fragile. You have to be really careful, especially this one for me. Feels like that it wanted to pop out, so I have to heat that up when I put it on. As far as the head, he only looks down about that far. Looks up pretty decently. There is some swivel, but these are the toys I wanted when I was a kid. Bobby does have a little bit of a twist in the waist. Looks like that's about all you're going to get out of him. A little bit of wiggle there. He kicks up only about that high, kicks back about this far. He does have double jointed knees, which again, I think I heated these ones up. I'm not too sure. I did it about a day ago. He does have some swivels in the boots, and the boot looks great on him, and little peg holes on the bottom. There's some nice rockers in there, and of course he has a nice hinge. But, you know, the bat, as I was saying, watch, every time you put it in, it's just wants to roll about. It's really loose. It just doesn't stay in there very good. So you may have to have him holding it with both hands. But, yeah, the bat or club looks really cool. You can see wood on the top of it there. Just an overall figure that I've wanted for a very, very long time, and I'm thankful to have. But we'll keep Bobby back there and see how long he can hold that staff. Uni, which comes with Bobby, looks absolutely fantastic. I have absolutely no complaints about Uni. Would have been cool if she had articulated legs. Was Uni a boy or a girl? Looks like a girl to me. There's a little bit of tilt in the head, move side to side, but yeah, Uni's a keeper. That's for sure. Now, as far as Hank, see, watch this. If you want him to hold it like that, but then he's just not, it looks okay from the side here. Like if you were taking a photograph, that would look cool. Yeah, Bobby's just going to have a hard time with me. Stand up for me. And put Uni next to Bobby. But Hank, yeah, it does look cool from this angle. Like if you were taking pictures. And there's lots of tilt. And yeah, there's some massive glue in mine, which I tried to heat that up and get it off, and I just couldn't get it off. But he does have great, you know, waist articulation in there. Tilts back well, tilts forward well. You can see the light green on his waist here. You know, you can get him to hold the bow like this, but it just looks funny like that because it's going underneath his arm. I've tried very different ways. You can pop it out and over this way. Have him holding it like that. Now the head mold, I wish it would have been a little bit better, but I think it looks cool. I just can't wait to see Eric and the girl with the cape. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. And then there was one other character. I just really hope we do get the rest of this wave. I really do. This is like a soft rubber piece you can see underneath there. It just lifts right up. Hank looks down really well. Looks up pretty decent. Looks like his neck is also moving in there too. The arms. This one's really having trouble popping up. Yeah, he pops up pretty high. But again, there's no like inward hinge here. If there was an inward hinge, just an up and down hinge, as you can see there, it would have worked better for the bow and arrow. But look, his arm only goes in that far. There's no way. I tried to like rotate it the other way and see if it would go further, and it's actually less. But yeah, that's as far as he gets. So picking up that bow and arrow, you know, and it can't do it that way. Just pop it in this way. You just can't get him to do it unless it just isn't going to work, unfortunately. Let's take this arrow off. This one here looks cool also, but I will figure out a way to display them. Probably with the like electric arrow. This arm is the same. A hinge in there, which only goes up about that high, which isn't bad, but this arm, you know, is less. Both hands swivel. The belt and paintwork looks great on the belt. The pants look great. Nice pinless legs. He does kick up only about that high. There's slits in there, so he does do the splits pretty good. Kicks up relatively decent to have a rubber skirt there. And it is rubber, so you don't have to worry about this breaking. There's a boot cut in there, which is really tight on mine. I like the boots. They look good. There is paint. Again, it's not the best on this, but, you know, it's not bad for, what, 25 bucks we're paying? And I'm very happy that I didn't have as many QC issues as some of the other people that I've seen online have. So let's take a look at Diana. And I think she's one of the coolest ones for sure. You can see the head mold. Just looks awesome, man. It looks just like the cartoon. She doesn't look up very much because her hair pops to the back of her neck. She looks down really well. There is some slight tilt in there. The staff, I wish it would have had a little bit more effects, like maybe some clear parts on there. They do fit into her hand really well. This staff, you know, it will slide through, but it does look cool. For arms, I definitely wanted to heat up because they are so thin. They lift up about that high. There's swivels and inward hinges. Looks like, yeah, on both hands. Her elbows pop up better than Hank's. That actually looks really cool. She's got a ball right here, and she tilts pretty much any direction you want her to go. This rubber piece here looks like, it almost looks like, yeah, it'll slide up and down. She kicks out pretty darn far, actually, so she can actually do some, like, martial art kicks if she wanted to. You'd want this behind her, though, like that, wouldn't you? Upper boot cut, and her boots are probably the best out of the wave, well painted. Nice hinge and rocker on the foot. Overall, I think this one's my favorite out of the bunch. And, of course, double jointed knee. Now, the question is am I happy with my investment? I did save 25 bucks because I pre-ordered these back when they had the promo where if you spend over 100, you get $25 off. So I spent $108, including shipping and taxes, to get all of these figures. And I would say I'm definitely happy. If you enjoyed today's video, kindly throw a thumbs up on it. Check out one of these videos up on the screen. And I'll see you guys in the next video.